test my patience.
Hello everybody and welcome to this AI battle. Today again English commentary, again trying to tell you everything about my AIs, my reworked vanilla OG lords as well as my own creations. Today all tier 2 AIs, meaning Caliph and Snake for the vanilla reworked vanilla AIs, as well as Efendi and Snail. And yeah, I guess we're just gonna head right into it. I told you everything about my settings, the settings I chose in the first video, so yeah, I guess we'll head right into it. Again, 4K starting gold, again on Desert Throne. And yeah, again, I'm going to reduce the game speed quite a bit in the beginning. That's not because I'm counting on someone to get rushed in this battle, but still, there's just so much to talk about, so much I want to tell you. Yeah, I don't want to miss out on anything, so yeah, in advance, I'm just gonna reduce the game speed. Okay, I thought I might just start with the Snail. The Snail, one of my own creations and maybe the most special AI within my Legends of the Orient pack because, yeah, she's self-sufficient. That's the design. Her totem, the snail, is very in a very obvious way linked to her game style, since she tends to not leave her castle unless she absolutely has to. She tries to stay out of most of the fights. She does not use any sortie troops since there's no economy around her. She doesn't raid. She's just attacking and defending, so doing the bare minimum of what an AI has to do to work properly. She uses the bread economy to stay self-sufficient. She buys wheat, produces bread, and sells bread again, which barely, but still, yeah, makes her earn basically all the money she has. And yeah, her castles are shaped in this spiral form. Yeah. Somewhat imitating the shape of a snail. I think that's pretty obvious. Her castles always have this one gatehouse. For most other AIs, this would be crucial, or it would be crucial to have more than just one gatehouse, because the economy, yeah, wouldn't work properly, because workers have to take huge ways around this castle to bring their goods, deliver them to the stockpile. But yeah, in her case, that's it's not that important, because everything she uses outside her castle walls as economy are these woodcutters, which actually again are part of her castle. She doesn't place them freely like all other AIs would do. Let's take a look. Yeah, here you can see it. The snake, just like any other AI would do, places them wherever the AI can find trees. Yeah, the snake doesn't do. The snail doesn't do that. These are part of her castle, and thus they have to walk pretty long ways to find the wood. But yeah. Still, it helps her quite a bit. You can see the stockpile. There's quite a bit of wood. She can use that to build her bakeries and get her economy started. Yeah. Also, special about the snail is that she uses either a +5 fear factor or -5 fear factor. There are no other options in between, which represents that she, yeah, just is a very double-minded character. and this is because of her backstory, which I'm going to tell you about now. She was or is the daughter of a rich merchant. Her father, she was the only child of her father, and since her mother died when giving birth to her, she stayed the only child because her father didn't want to marry again, and thus she had a pretty happy childhood, one could say. Grew up basically not having to deal with the bullshit women usually had to deal with during medieval times. Still, these happy times didn't last forever, since at some point her father, made some bad decisions. Also was a bit unlucky. His ships sank due to some storms. He did some bad investments and lost a lot of money. And the only way he saw himself not losing everything was to marry his daughter. And this obviously was treason for the snail, more so because her father married her to the snake. The snake's fifth wife just had died under mysterious circumstances when her father agreed to that. And for the snail, again, this was nothing less than treason. And from that point on, her character shifted quite a bit, became darker, or as I said, double-minded. I'm just telling you this in advance. This knight is important for a story as well. He'll get killed now by the snake's assassins. And she was so unhappy being the wife of the snake that she tried to kill her husband. Obviously, this failed. The snake, being the master manipulator, was easily able to dodge this attempt, and the snake locked her up into prison, from which she was only able to flee because a knight fell in love with her, and this was the knight who just died, and freed her from her prison cell and helped her flee into the Holy Lands, where her father had quite a bit of connections. She was able to use those to, and this might already be a close call, although some assassins making their way up, but the lady in this case, not the lord, easily able to kill them. This should be one of the castles where she's building -5 fear factor. Or is it? I'm not sure. We'll see. For now, I can't spot any fear factor buildings. She does have quite a bit of towers already. Again, she has to buy everything. All the stone she uses for a castle, all the wheat she uses for a bread economy, and thus, she is not as stable as most other AIs. She is pretty special and can be a pretty mighty ally for any other AI, because she just doesn't use any of the space on the map. So if she's teamed up with another AI, her ally can act freely in every regard and do whatever the AI wants, because she just uses some wood and that's it for her. No, it's a castle with positive fear factor, okay. This makes her quite a bit more... she's stronger in her defense like this, but obviously struggles to get more gold to pump her armies and take part in the battles. I think I'll just have a look at Yeah, okay. She is ranked lowest, which is a problem, and which is also why I wanted to talk about her first. Special about my tier 2 AIs is all of them have target choice balanced. And this means they will... Hero Woodcutter. Holding off all these slaves, giving the archers the opportunity to shoot them down. Yeah, they will all hit the weakest target. Target choice balanced isn't actually 100% translated to weakest target because the distance also applies when the AI is trying to make a decision which opponent the AI wants to attack, but still, in most cases, yeah, that's pretty much what it translates to. Okay, what else can I tell you about her? She does have these 3 fire throwers. I can't spot the 3rd one. Did he already die? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just blind. These are part of her starting troop. There was a time when she recruited them, actually, but this was just too mighty. There were cases in which she had, like, I don't know, 20 of them guarding her gatehouse, and this made her, against some AIs, yeah, very, very overpowered. So I had to switch them to her starting troops. So, yeah, she benefits of them in the early game quite a bit, but later, once AIs like, for example, the Efendi, who has a lot of slingers, or the Snake, who has tons of archers, once they manage to kill these, she doesn't recruit them anymore. Yeah, fire ballistas already shooting them down. This one actually seems to be guarded pretty nicely by the tower, but again, Caliph joining the battle, maybe distracting the Efendi. I'm not sure. Yeah, obviously they are not teamed up, so they hit each other, which might actually help the snail.
My schemes have miserably failed. Maybe I should look out for a new ally.
Yeah, already nervous, the snail, not able to really recruit more troops, although 50, that's not as few as I feared they might be. Now sending them out. Yeah, she should be able to hold them off quite a bit longer. But again, all of them will continue to hit her. There's a slight chance the target choices might shift towards any other AI, but usually in these free-for-all fights, it's the snail who gets picked out, just because she needs a bit of time to build up, and usually she doesn't get this time against these 3 opponents, because again, all of them target choice balanced and all of them choosing the same target. Yeah, that's just too much usually. But for now, she should be safe. Oh, Snail already destroying all these buildings here. That's quite a bit of damage. She lost a chapel, which is pretty expensive. The Engineer's Guild as well. Again, 100 gold. But she's pumping the defenders, trying to hold them off. Maybe there's a slight chance she survives the first few attacks and is able to climb up the ranks to switch places with any other AI. Yeah, but I think this is everything I can tell you about her for now. Maybe if I remember anything else, I will get back to her, but for now, this should be just fine. Woodcutter's waiting to bring in the wood. Does she still have some wheat? Not for now. And not able to repair the walls. Yeah, this is something I can tell you. In the beginning, she places all of these walls at once, even before there is a stone in her stockpile. This makes these walls free, so she's kind of cheating to get this castle built up as fast as she does. And yeah, but still, I think it's fine. It fits her character pretty nicely, and yeah, if she had to build her castle in a normal fashion, she would be even less of a competition for all the other tier 2 AIs. In general, my tier 2 AIs kind of have the same theme. This applies for all my tiers. The tier 1 AIs, they just suck. Basically in every regard. Robber Baron and Scorpion, they do have their benefits and can be pretty strong, but their economies, their armies, they scale very slow. They are just bad in every regard. My tier 2 AIs, already having 9 instead of 6 houses, obviously have a pretty strong economy. A snail for now not producing any bread. That's pretty bad, since this is the only way she's able to gain gold. The harassing siege engines sent out by the snake also doing quite a bit of damage. Again, destroying the Engineer's Guild. That hurts. That hurts quite a bit. But I'm having a look here. 59 units, that's just not enough. The next offense, again, going to hit her hard and maybe already being her... being the last attacks she's gonna see in this game. Let's have a look. Efendi, yeah, marching towards the snake as well. Caliph still holding back for now, but yeah. These two already might do the job. We will see. Yeah, although quite a bit of slaves since the Efendi has to recruit digging units, which in his case, yeah, are slaves. They thin out his ranks quite a bit. But the fire ballistas, very, very strong. Again, Snail feeling nervous. Her windmills are not producing. And yeah, she has to defend to every side. But maybe again, Efendi and Snake going to hit each other, making it easier for the snail to withstand these attacks. I'm just shortly going to increase the speed again so we can have a look whether or not she's withstanding. But for now, doesn't look as bad. Although, ooh, no bread anymore. And the walls have been breached as well. Or have they? Not sure. Maybe not. But moat is digged out, sending the slaves to repair this damage. Yeah, okay, but I think this is enough for now. Which one? I think I'm going to switch to the Caliph. He's very interesting as well, since he is probably the vanilla AI who has changed the most. When you look at the OG Caliph, he wasn't. His castles weren't shaped in a circle, not at all. So this is a pretty huge difference. And the question is, why did I do that? That's because I think I already mentioned this aspect in the first video. This is because in the base game, all Arabian AIs only used Tower 1 and Tower 5. So the round-shaped towers. And this is why I always had the feeling that Arabian AIs should somewhat use circle shapes in any way, basically. And since I felt like the Caliph is the most extreme vanilla AI, I gave him the most extreme round shape, a circle. This is a pretty boring one, I have to say. He does have castles which look a lot nicer in my opinion. But yeah, still this shows off his the way he builds his castles. He still has these, yeah, you could say forests of Tower 1, which makes him quite weak against any siege engines, basically, especially catapults. They are even stronger, I would say, than trebuchets, just because it is easier for them to hit these very small towers. And yeah, if you use catapults in any way, you will never have problems breaching his walls. But for any AIs who rely on their armies, they could struggle quite a bit, because obviously he is all about fire. He does use pitch in front of his castles. He has, for every castle, 5 fire ballistas in front of his walls. His archers shooting arrows to light up the pitch. Engineers who pitch engineers. What's the name? I don't know, but I guess you know what I mean. And obviously fire throwers. He even uses fire throwers in his main army, and this is why it can take for him quite a while to get dangerous when attacking. His defense basically always is strong, but yeah, especially when he's at home, because stacking up these fire throwers on his keep. Oh, Snail again feeling nervous. Oh, no food, but still popularity is fine. But again, catapults hitting her hard. I'm going to increase the speed again. I want to witness the kill. Snake easily opening the gatehouse, storming the castle, storming the keep, and yeah, achieving the first kill of the game.
Never would I deal ill with anybody. Please have mercy.
Yeah, the snake taking revenge for the attempt of killing her.
Winning all the time really is getting rather tiresome.
Yeah, how fitting for the story. But yeah, as I said, this is no surprise. Usually in this setup, the snail is unfortunately the one who gets killed first. Okay, back to the Caliph. What was I even talking about? I think his fire throwers. Yeah, stacking them up on top of his keep makes him very defensive. And if his opponents aren't choosing to path over his stockpile, it can be really difficult for them to even reach the Lord, because there's just so much fire in these last few steps towards the keep. It's yeah, it can be somewhat impossible for some AIs to to kill the Caliph. Yeah, and again, I told you everything about his castle shape. Ah, yeah, his economy. This also has changed quite a bit. I gave him, obviously, -5 fear factor. He's just cruel. He's not nice to his people, you could say. And yeah, wants his economy to run even more efficient. So yeah, -5 fear factor. Obviously, again, a lot of fire. These, how are they called again? Oh, again, forgot the name. But yeah, you can see what I'm talking about. And yeah, apart from that, using bread economy, I feel like this just is the standard for any Arabian AI. Bread economy. I always had the feeling that it's just a lot more powerful than just giving him beer. Obviously, beer plus bread economy is the strongest of all. These are the two most powerful economy branches, but I didn't want to give him both. Even more so since I always had the feeling that beer was somewhat European. I don't know. These pale, drunken people walking around the castle, they never looked really Arabian in my eyes. So, I chose to give him bread economy instead. Making him his economy much more powerful. And it has to be very powerful because his armies are just so expensive. These fire throwers, I mean, his main army consists of 3 Arabian swordsmen and 1 fire thrower. So, you could argue this is not as much, but when he's scaling his armies, they become more and more, obviously, and this just makes his army so expensive. So he needs the gold. He desperately needs it. Now, for the first time, I think we can see Efendi attacking the Caliph, who now sits in between Efendi and Snake. But Snake is trying to kill the Efendi, making use of his army not being at home. And even Caliph is striking him. Siege tower. Oh, doesn't reach the castle walls. And Caliph also marching out towards the Efendi. How much gold does he have? Basically none. This could be pretty dangerous for him if the Snake manages to open the gatehouses.
Tend to be a little unsettling.
I think I'm done with the Caliph. Going to talk about the Efendi now. Hopefully he doesn't die. Let's have a look before I'm even trying to tell you anything about him. But he's feeling nervous, recruiting a lot of defensive units, should be able to repel this attack. Not even much of a problem. Obviously, the Arabian swordsman can be pretty dangerous against him, but the castle walls are breached at a point where the Efendi basically wants them to be breached. So they use his castle bridge, I call this. Although it isn't really a bridge, it's a staircase, but I think you can see what I'm aiming at. They get slaughtered, being slowed by the staircases, and then hit hard by the slingers. So, the Efendi. One of my own creations. He is the Sultan's uncle. He once was a fighter himself, a retired fighter for now, and was helping his brother to climb the throne. His brother became the Sultan, which obviously wasn't to the liking of many other Arabian lords, such as the Caliph. And even though he fought his whole life, he wasn't able to protect his the most valuable aspect of his life in the end, since the Arabian lords, at a point where they didn't achieve a victory on the battlefield, decided to try other attempts and sending out assassins, killing the Efendi's brother. And in this assassination attempt, which was in the end successful, the Sultan was the child of his brother, who is now in the game. The Sultan was the only one who survived this assassination, and thus the Efendi decided that the best way to protect his nephew was to teach him different lessons. Nothing about fighting, nothing about economy or anything which might lead to the other Arabian lords trying to kill him as well. But yeah, poems and just enjoying life, yeah, and alternative lessons, you could say. And yeah, the Efendi himself became a bit quirky, you could say. He's a strange fella and using alternative tactics. As a retired fighter, obviously he does know quite a bit about fighting, but yeah, again, he's quirky, a bit weird, and maybe the aspect showcasing this characteristic about him best are his slingers. Like no other AI, he uses these in his army. His main army consists to 100% of slingers, which makes his armies very, very cheap. They are basically the opposite of the Caliph's armies. And yeah, in the late game, this means that he can pump like no other tier 2 AIs just because his armies are so cheap. He's stacking the troops. Obviously, they are basically useless if there are any AIs. If his opponents use archers in any way, such as the snake, for example, who uses them more than any other AI in my pack, he's basically without any chance to put his slingers to work because they get shot down so fast, and they're basically paper against archers. Against crossbowmen, they are actually not as useless. Still useless, but not as useless. But again, and this is basically a theme for my tier 2 AIs, they just give him the ability to defend really, really well. I'm going to reduce the speed again, since I'm witnessing the snake opening the gatehouses, but no, this shouldn't be dangerous for him. All his castles have this castle bridge, this staircase, which is designed to connect the forward and backwards Bereich of the castle. Again, not finding the right words. Section, the section in the front, connecting the section in the front to the one in the back. And luring enemies who breach the wall to walk all around the keep, giving his slingers the opportunity to shoot them down. And usually the Efendi doesn't have any fear factor. He's a neutral lord, but you can see does have some fear factor buildings. And when he gets attacked and his peasants get killed, or outside his castle walls his workers get killed, this obviously reduces his population and thus increasing the small benefit of these fear factor buildings and giving him this defensive bonus, you could say. So you can see there's this little green dot, and this should disappear once his economy runs as usual. And there you can see it. Now it disappeared. Again, his economy can now run freely, no workers taking breaks at any of these fear factor buildings. And so again, he's pretty defensive if he gets attacked by the front. A main weakness for him are assassins. This again refers to his backstories. He hates assassins, and he hates them because they are pretty strong against him. Every castle has this connection to his keep. So you can climb this gatehouse and walk directly to his keep. And this is supposed to showcase that he doesn't like assassins, since he's weak again, since in his backstory, his brother getting killed. I think you get it. He produces some spears, just to make to earn a bit more gold from his wood, not selling all of it. Yeah, and he's stacking up quite a few of those. So if you're teamed up with him, you might ask for these and be delivered quite a bit, since he doesn't use them. Yeah, I think, again, this is everything I can tell you. Maybe a little aspect, his mills are outside his castle walls. There are some castles where he only has one mill, who's then standing inside his castle walls, being a lot more productive than these two standing outside the castle walls. But again, alternative tactics, you can say. He's, yeah, strange, weird. And, yeah, this is why he does this stuff. Yeah, but I think that's it. We're going to head to the last AI, again increasing the game speed a bit. So yeah, this fight doesn't take too long. The snake. I think the snake is the tier 2 AI who has changed least from all my AIs. Maybe Richard, but I think you can just see very easily that this is supposed to be a snake. Big difference for my version is though that every castle is always closed, even if this castle is on a mountain, on top of a mountain, where the snake obviously wouldn't be able to dig out these moats. Still, always this his castles will be closed. So there are always two sections as well. The second one always being closed off by these moats. In many cases, fire ballistas behind just looks really nice, I think. Also having positive and negative fear factor buildings, just to showcase a bit like it's somewhat the same as for the snail. Just for the snake, it means it's a neutral lord because he builds both types of fear factor buildings. For the snail, she chooses one or the other, but again, it's a bit of supposed to be somewhat of a reference. Yeah, for his armies, the snake uses a lot of archers more than any other AI. They are even within his main armies. 3 spearmen, 1 archer, and yeah, obviously assassins. This probably is the biggest change. I never understood why Firefly chose not to give the snake assassins. The snake did in vanilla already use Arabian troops, but yeah, not assassins who, I mean, they fit his character perfectly, but still, he didn't have them, so I chose to fix that basically, and yeah. He uses a lot of them, but no endless numbers. They are not in his main armies, so yeah, they will not scale endlessly. But I think that's all I can tell you about him. So, he does use always 2 inns. This is a big change maybe, but otherwise, yeah. Stacking up a lot of wood because his weapon productions, yeah, make good use of it. Yeah, but apart from that, I think that's it. Okay, now we have spoken about all of them. This attack already reaching the keep, still choosing to attack the Efendi. This is pretty interesting, I think, since, yeah, usually the AI in between the other 2 surviving AIs gets chosen and beaten down, but in this case, not much gold for the Caliph, but many troops. Snake was able to stack up quite a bit of gold, now able to pump his troops, and yeah, I guess we'll just have a look at the outcome of this battle. Maybe, yeah, there will be other aspects I'm realizing, and then I will come back to these. But yeah, for now, I think that's all you'll have to know. Oh yeah, the Caliph, now as I see it, as I'm seeing it, he's the AI obviously building most pitch rigs. Up to 14, I think. Yeah, should be 14. Not able to build all of them, but yeah. Again, attacking the Efendi, beating him down, reaching the gatehouse without any problems, but burning quite a few of his own men by lighting up the Engineers Guild. Was able to breach the castle walls, but again, no real danger for the Efendi. Going to take a look again. Caliph now ranked below the Efendi, and now the snake attacking him. Yeah, you can see that he's all about fire. No problem for him to repel this attack. These light troops just do no damage against him, and yeah, easily able to hold them off. No problem at all. I'm waiting for the Efendi to attack. If he's able to do some damage against any opponent he's choosing, he might be able to crawl back up the ranks for the rest of the game, and thus making it the typical 1v1 situation. Able to use his siege tower, but not realizing he can use it. Breaching the castle walls. Oh, even walking above the stockpile. Even reaching the keep, but not able to touch the king. Although, he is touched. He did lose some health before. Not sure at which point, but yeah. This hurt the Caliph quite a bit. He now has to really pump his units. I think Snailbite might be coming out soon again. Yeah, there he is. I think he just works best in this free-for-all battles. Is he able to open the gatehouse? Not really, but his catapults, yeah, as I already told you, they are just doing a lot of work against him. So much damage. Destroying 3 or 4 towers, and thus obviously also killing a lot of defenders, and they just are very expensive. Caliph, obviously, Arabian troops only. He, yeah, will struggle quite a bit to get back up. Even more so since he has this -5 fear factor. Once his popularity is dropping, he struggles enormously to get this back up. So, yeah. Getting hit that hard might be a problem for him. Snake again, almost reaching 400 troops. Yeah, no problems to stack up his armies because they just are so cheap. All these weapons. Oh, man, this is one of very few remaining castles in which the Caliph doesn't have a staircase. So the AI isn't recognizing. Oh!
From the Caliph.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that one coming. Efendi achieving his first kill. Huh? What does he have to tell us?
Is there such a thing? I am even better than I believed. How delightful.
Yeah, you can already see he is a bit crazy. But yeah, just a nice guy. I like him very much. Now Snake climbing up the castle walls, almost reaching the king again. But Efendi able to hold the Snake off. How many troops for each of them? Snake obviously does have quite a bit of gold, almost 3k, since he just attacked. Stacking the troops back up very quickly. Even lighting up some quarries. I'm gonna increase the game speed. Oh no, not necessary. think 500 is just enough. Yeah, I'm not really sure who might win. Actually, they are probably the most balanced AIs to face off each other in last stand mode. Each of them can easily win against the other one. It's basically a question of timing, I would say. The Efendi is using up to 150 Arabian swordsmen. Again, they're not scaling endlessly, but they just give him, a better kill potential than if he would be using slingers only. This might already be pretty dangerous for one of them. Snake does have the faster troops, and Efendi, doesn't have anything left, even sending out his 30 sortie slingers. And now there are quite a bit of assassins opening the gatehouses, reaching the keep, reaching the king. Not reaching the king, but very close call. Now we'll have a look at the castle snake, at the snake's castle, but again, not really anything happening here. Okay, so I think this might be the first speed up, increasing the game speed, and see you soon. Okay, Snake attacking first. How many troops? How many units? Almost 500. His attack force base is a bit smaller than for the Efendi, since, again, in the late game, his armies are so cheap. He has an attack force base of 70. For the Snake, it's only, I think, something around 60. But yeah, the Snake's units, when they are choosing to walk the path the Efendi is expecting them to walk, no chance. They, even if they are only his 30 sortie slingers, they might not reach the king because the light troops just are so useless in that regard. But maybe a timing for the Efendi to counter the Snake, although they are on maps like these, the eyes are so far apart of each other. They it takes ages for them to even reach the enemy's castle. So achieving a kill by countering the opponent's attack is even harder than it already is under normal circumstances. Still, Efendi trying to do so. Snake did just start again to recruit units. Efendi, as I told you, he does have quite a bit of Arabian swordsmen. They can be pretty strong against the Snake, since the Snake is only using archers. They do not really excel at holding off armored troops, even if they are just lightly armored. Still, this should not really be successful for the Efendi. My God! It's so hard for me to talk English, even more so since this battle might take even longer. This is because, all my tier 2 AIs just are pretty defensive in their own ways, basically. Snake pumping endless amounts of archers. Efendi, his castle bridge and his slingers just being very strong against attacks coming from the front, which they are regarding the Snake's attacks. And the snail, once she's built up, she's probably the strongest of these. And the Caliph, obviously, all of his fire. So it's somewhat normal for these fights to take a while. So I might be cutting through them quite a bit. For now, I think it's fine if we just if I just make another speed up, and yeah, maybe the next attack will be a lucky punch. We'll see. Again, not really great timing for the snake. Efendi. Oh no! Efendi is leaving his castle just as the snake is attacking him. All these assassins, if they manage to climb up this gatehouse, this might be actually it for the Efendi. Yeah, opening it, no problem. Storming the castle walls. Ah, the last few Arabian swordsmen dodging the assassins.
My life has been a rich and satisfying one.
Even in death, he doesn't even care. The Efendi just is a strange man.
All the time really is getting rather tiresome.
Yeah, rather tiresome. I suppose the Efendi just didn't want this battle to take ages, so he decided to, yeah, leave the victory to the Snake. Snake achieving 2 kills, Efendi 1, killing the Caliph. But yeah, in the end, Snake victorious. We'll just have a quick look at these statistics. Yeah, Snake even earning more gold than the Efendi, although he does have this his bread economy, obviously. Yeah, you can see this here. Or just slightly above the Caliph, although he died like 15 years before him. Yeah, still barely made it on top. Snake destroyed most buildings, yeah. Snake does send out some slaves raiding his opponent's economies and troops. Again, a close call. Snake slightly above the Efendi. I think if this battle would have taken even just a bit longer, this would have shifted towards the Efendi, but yeah, obviously Snake as well, using cheap troops, light troops, not armored, yeah, able to pump them quite a bit. Okay, I think that's it for my tier 2 AIs. If you have, again, any questions, just, write them down in the comments. And, I hope you had fun. For me, it was, again, an inner flower picking. And see you next time.